be sending out the bits.
All the bits.
Maybe we'll get a bloop. Maybe the YouTubes go live. Just in time.
We're live.
For Linux.
Awesome.
Weekly. Daily Wednesdays. Hey, beautiful people. What is going on? We were just chatting about the housing market. Doesn't that sound exciting? Man, it is.
Yeah.
Genuinely nothing but a party with us in the pre-show. How's everyone doing? Getting ready for the pre-show and just getting the last little bits together to, as we always do on Wednesday, talk about some of the neat things going on in the world of open source and Linux.
This time I wore a vintage Firefox shirt. It's a Firefox 3 shirt.
Look at the hipster. Did it come with a fixie?
I have a little fox. Isn't he cute?
All right, I'm gonna let you get away with that one since it's Wednesday. If it was Saturday, I'd blow you up.
If it was Saturday, it would be delicious.
Oh no, Pedro, we can go darker than that. It's just like a little toe in the water.
Hi Rohit. Hi Arthur. Hi Matthew Strider. Yes, talking about some Foxfire.
And I was at work today, and we had a little bit of downtime, and I decided it's like, oh, let's see how the stream turned out. The stream that I did yesterday. It's like, oh, I'm going to lose the ratings war this week, aren't I?
What did you do?
No, it's like, oh, okay. So I had like 23 views peak while I was live, and it only had like 27 when I went to check it at work. It's like, oh, yeah, not a whole lot of people watching this.
Well, come on, man. I mean, your strategy was to play a game that wasn't well received when it was released like almost 2 years ago. So,
but it's a really nice game. I really like it.
Yeah.
like I said on the stream, you know, I checked in with it. I was like, okay, listen, man. I didn't hate the game. It was well done. You can tell they put a lot of effort. We're talking about Force Showdown, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
It was... The fatal flaw was just kind of boring. It was kind of repetitive.
Well, I was watching Pedro, and I actually I had something a little scary happen. My internet went down yesterday, and I was freaking out, of course. And so we had an outage here, but I had it on my cell, so I was using my cell service.
Why would you burn precious data on that?
Well, because I didn't want to miss it. I want to make sure I wanted to keep the numbers up for the contest. See, I'm voting for everyone, including Friday, that I helped Ven out with. I gotta support everyone.
You gotta pick a favorite if you're watching all three, man. It's canceling it out.
Yeah. No, I like them all. I like them all.
Yeah,
But yeah, last week I think I won with Everspace, so I guess
Yes,
it's only fair
definitely.
that I lose this week.
Yeah.
Yes, Hover.
Yeah, that looks like fun. I just got that off the bundle.
I was about to say, it's
Then-
in the Humble Bundle for, I think,
Yeah.
I don't know what the average price is. It's like $5 or something like that. I tried it yesterday. It's not bad. There's some game in there.
This one.
Yeah, I love those parkour games. They're really fun.
Look at you being all professional and remembering to put our partner link. Good on you.
I may or may not have visited the link earlier today, so it was right
Cool.
there in the top suggestions.
Yeah, Old Man Venn was like, I go to Humble. Oh.
Oh. And hello, Chipsy. But yeah, that was a really good bundle. I didn't, obviously get Rocket League because I already had that, but threw some money LGC's way, as always.
Thing.
Yes.
It also had Besiege in it, so I mean, if you like creating
and I needed that
horrible
one.
murder devices, it's a good game for that.
Yeah.
Hello, Katana.
Katana.
Yes. Yep.
Hi, the Soldat. How are you doing?
This music, it has a bit of a cold storage to it.
Yeah, this music's not obeying my
Hi, Brother Jellybean.
playback. Huh. Oh. Oh, never mind. Never mind. I'm being a bit daft.
Artherin. We love
Let me
Artherin.
rephrase that. I'm being more daft, more so than usual.
It's a bit louder than usual. For me, anyway.
Good.
Yeah. I think for Pedro, probably. Ben turned it up. Poor Pedro.
What else is new? I'm always the one getting my ears blown out whenever a YouTube video starts playing.
Yes. Bad Ben.
Oh no, I have the headset plugged into the mixer, so I basically just nudge the volume knob down a little bit. It's like, there we go.
Oh, okay.
I hope no one's talking to me right now because I can't hear 'em.
Thank you, Soldat. Ben does the daft, Pedro does the punk, and Jill just keeps it rocking.
That's what everyone needs. Let's get amped before a show. I'm rewiring audio, ladies and gentlemen. Our audio chain is about to change, and it just doesn't know it yet.
Oh,
So,
Katana.
If something
Thank you.
happens to the audio on stream, you need to let us know.
That'll be next week. Next week is going to be a hot mess.
Oh, and this week I have my special mug that I got for S. Michelle for my birthday that we showed on Linux Gamecast on Saturday. That is my LWDW mug. I'm the only one that has it. Yay!
Are you holding it the wrong way?
Oops. I am holding it the wrong way. Yes, Bad Jill. The LWW Jill Linux girl. Isn't that special?
Well, hey Pedro, what are your thoughts on about unlicensed merchandise from our show? I think we need to call our lawyer.
Aww.
You know what? I think a mug is innocuous. Don't push it though, Jill. I got my eye on you.
Yay! It's just a Cafe Press knockoff prop. And I didn't buy it. It was a present to me,
Listen,
so it's
listen,
not my
listen.
fault.
Possession is some part of the law.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just tell S. Michelle to send you guys one too. except yours would say Pedro Mateus and Ben's would say Ben Stone, of course. Unless you want LWW Jill Linux Girl mugs.
I am susceptible to bribery. That's just one of the reasons I will never be in a position of power anywhere.
And that's why I also have this too. I am the official morale czar of LGC. So Steve Husband got me this for my birthday that I showed Saturday. So I'm just gonna make sure that everyone stays in line, I guess.
All right, so one thing I learned a long time ago: if Steve's responsible for that, you can tell a lot about a person about how they spell czar, with a C or with a
yes,
T.
or T. Yes.
I guess it has to do with how you translate that particular hieroglyph character.
Yeah.
Oh, did you get the same issue that I did, Pedro, with the game we're doing this week, starting up in Roshan after the update? All right, wasn't that a fun adventure? Because the Cyrillic alphabet is like, oh man, hard mode.
It's like, yeah, everything is in Cyrillic. Okay, all right. Hold on.
I guess that's true, MT and Linux GNU. Aww. Yeah, I could be a Tsarina. See, that was Ven's choosing. Oh yeah, so why did you choose it with C instead of T?
Just to see, Wow. I don't know, my brain just tapped out. He's like, do you honestly believe that I applied any thought to that?
That's how you say that, right? That's how you write it. Fine.
There was no Googling. Did that get a red squiggly line under it? Nope. All right, it's legit.
Aw.
That is one thing Google has on Firefox is the in-browser spell check, because Firefox will just straight up look at you sideways with some basic. Because unfortunately, Google's autocorrect has taught me to kind of spell words. Like I can get over the 50% mark where I'll know what to autocorrect it, and these are very simple spelling errors that I could fix. It's just the fact that the laziness and you just right-click and fix. And you'll be typing something and Firefox will be like, did you mean Turbo Weasel? I'm like, no, it's there.
Yeah.
One thing that Firefox has over Chrome is the ability to switch between the dictionaries, the different language dictionaries on the fly without having to basically refresh the page. Because if I'm typing something in Portuguese and it's in English, in Firefox I just right-click, change to Portuguese, and all the squigglies are gone. In Chrome, it's... Oh, it didn't change. Let me click out of it, click back in, no. Maybe add a paragraph, no. Okay, let's just refresh. Okay, now it works.
Right. Let's get a refill and we will get into it. We have a pretty decent sized show. We're gonna try to get in and out in a reasonable amount of time. So.
Appropriately vague, yes.
Yeah.
It's currently being used. I think Google would do it.
Yeah, you'd think that, you know, since Google Translate could do it, maybe Chrome could do it automatically. No.
Alright. I will return.
Bing Translator. Bing translations are kind of funny. It's especially noticeable on Twitter because they use Bing to translate tweets. And every now and then there's a tweet that's just like special characters for one reason or another. It's the most prevalent I've seen is in Sophie Holden's Twitter feed, whenever she does like those little paths in her tweets, every now and then it's like translate from Portuguese. Someone who speaks Portuguese, I have no freaking clue.
Yeah, I've actually used the Portuguese translation, at least on YouTube, before. Because one of the ladies that listens to our show, Mila Gamer Linux, she does gaming live streams every day, and I sometimes tune into her. And she's Portuguese Brazilian.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes it works pretty good, and sometimes it doesn't. But she actually has halfway decent English, so.
Does it do like on the fly live stream closed captions?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Yeah, it does.
Well, there's an interesting drinking game there, chat realm.
Yeah.
Turn on closed captions for this particular stream.
Hi, Steve Husband. I'm sorry you missed the beginning.
What did you translate there, Strider? Because jumping over the husband's underline again? Because that's what that would translate to.
Oh. Yeah, Steve Husband. You have italics, not underline.
Yeah, no, it isn't. I can tell you for a fact that one's wrong.
You know, at this point, I'm just gonna nod my head and just be like, all right, fine.
Yeah, Boo Boo, I already showed the LWW mug and my Morale Czar plaque.
She's way ahead of you, Boo Boo.
I think Steve's going to have some manner of dreams with that one.
Let it go. We're about ready to light this.
Yes. Oh, come on, Linux Nuru. Just, I don't know, run some bitch hacks or something that doesn't use a whole lot of bandwidth.
I'll only be able to watch, not chat. Man, it'd be a shame if somebody made like an Android app.
It shouldn't.
Man, I would say like one of the downsides, I got this mug, right?
Mm-hmm.
It holds 2 liters.
That's awesome.
And
That's a Venn mug.
here's the problem with it though, because once you're down to about like at the bottom, comparatively it feels quite light. And you think, oh, there's just a little bit in there. It's almost a liter left, and you're like, oh, I'm just going to finish this off. And you start hammering on it, and the cup still gives.
Why is it not over?
Then it comes to this principle, war of wills. Or like, am I going to sit here and just chug a liter? Which naturally, we're telling a story that I might have experienced.
Yeah, does it have lots of insulation on it, so it feels real light on the bottom?
A little bit. I mean, it's not cray, but...
I thought you were going to say, yeah, it feels comparatively light, so when you put it down, and then you pick it back up and there's just liquid everywhere.
No. It was a good $2.99, because 2 liters is enough to get me through the show. 30 minutes, 2 liters. Yeah. Right, so that looks good. And voting should be enabled on the show chats. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna reposition, maybe do some color correct, maybe transparent these chat windows. I'm gonna play with it. Not now. How about that? Self-restraint.
Yeah.
Exercise.
Man, GPRS internet back in the days of when phones just started to get like color displays, and that was becoming the norm.
GPRS CDMA. I remember that.
Yep.
Got a BlackBerry that could get a picture of a cloud and tell you the weather, and we thought that was the moon future.
Yeah.
And I mean, it probably took 45 seconds to pull that up too.
I remember my cell phone provider at the time, because GPRS, it's a new thing and phones all have it. So if you have a supported phone, you get, I think it was like 50 megs for free. I downloaded all the Java games to my phone.
I do remember making web zones WAP enabled.
Oh yeah.
I had experience.
The really like kilobyte-sized GIFs instead of JPEGs.
Oh no, there were no images, sweetheart. It was just turning it into a menu that you could scroll through, read text. All right, and now we have LTE. It's ridiculous. Wait, hang on. No, I have a better upload now with the cable than I do with my LTE. I only have 9 megabits up with LTE.
Yeah, no, see, here in Cambridge,
Yeah.
I get like 30 megabits up with LTE.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Grumpiest.
Grumpiest man.
Where it would take almost a minute to get a single JPEG of some manner of lewd activity.
But just JPEGs in general. We're probably talking like 96. I remember that on 56K. That would always, if you were lucky, connect at 28. Just going to a web zone, the logical thing was to have images disabled because it took a long time, like navigation or anything like that. So, all right, let's do this. Let's bring this up.
My Nokia 3310 had one of those monochrome WAP browsers.
Okay, you guys ready?
Yes.
Ready? With the
Yes.
show? All right. Let's make it happen. you. Everyone get ready. On the SS, please don't catch on fire just for one day. I'll be your captain.
Yeah.
Pay no attention. Because I'm...
Choo-choo, the 825 train that's about to wreck is about to leave the station.
I didn't bring enough parachutes to share, so don't get worried. It's just a precaution. All right. In 3, 2...
System 76 and Gnome have a slap fight, and Firefox counts to 60.
Unwitting crypto mining. Oh, snap. PGP has been cracked.
And Gnome apparently hates executables. Well, Nautilus does. And we're going to talk about a custom OS that you might want to watch out for. And that's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's another great day for Linux, so let's go.
The music is still on for me.
Good. Do you want it louder?
No. A bit quieter would help.
All right.
Thank you.
And welcome back to Linux Weekly Daily Wednesdays, where we're going to stop, take that midweek break, sit back, relax, and talk about some of the neat things going on in the world of open source. Ben Stone joined every week. That's Jill. You know her. You love her. She's in L.A. and from Britannia. My cohort from Saturday nights, one Pedro Mateus. What's going on, everybody? Jill, you've been playing around with. What, are you trying to influence poor innocent, unsuspecting people? Are you trying to recruit them into Linux? Is that what's going on?
Yes, I am.
Oh,
yes,
no.
I am. Well, actually, several months ago, before Scale, I had given a talk at Community Hack Night at Riot Games. It's a monthly meetup, and I talked about my love of Linux, Scale, Linux Chicks LA, and promoted the LGCs as well. And at this last Monday's meetup, what was really awesome is a lot of people came up to me and they said, you know, they wanted to get started into Linux because of my talk, and that just made me feel really good. And there were 2 ladies and several men who were just they were intimidated by Linux until I gave my talk. So that was really, really special. So mission accomplished.
Good to hear. It's nice news. Pedro, you apparently have done nothing because there's nothing in the notes.
Yeah, there was actually not much going on this week. It was just a whole lot of work, and then coming back home and then work some more. Yeah, no, it's cost contention. It's taking its toll on the interesting things I can say during this teeny tiny little segment.
Man, don't worry. Did you get your invite to the wedding?
Yeah, it finally came in the mail.
All
yeah,
right.
still not going.
Oh man.
Aw.
Over here, listen. I know somebody's going to type, buy a new tablet, Vin, because I'm about to talk about my Nexus 10 that I carry around. And it's not like the battery got poofy on it. I was like, oh man, this is my kitchen tablet. This is my media consumption tablet. So I replaced the battery. It's still working, and it's really nice because I forgot that thing has a 9,000 milliamp battery in it that just goes for days because I just did a drain test of it. Yeah, that takes about 2 days of regular use. So kind of happy about that. Ordered some new kit for the audio. I warned Pedro. I was like, hey, Pedro. Pedro's like, what's going on? It's like, I'm going to be experimenting with you shortly upcoming.
What else is new?
And we got a new audio DAC headed this way. It's going to be balanced XLR out, and we're going to be running some test on that. Hopefully by this time next week, we'll see how that works out. And if it does, we'll be buying one for Jill and one for Discord too. It's pretty neat.
Oh,
Pretty
cool.
neat. Yeah, we got to do something with that hundreds of dollars that we have laying around. But I think audio upgrades from the $7 DACs that we've been using for years might be in order. Might be in order. Okay, let's get into the real business because we got some System 70 drama.
Oh, yes, we do. It's System 76 and GNOME had a bit of a slap fight. Well, at least one of the GNOME developers, because the rest of the GNOME people have already come out and said, yeah, that's like his opinion, man, so don't put it on us. But yeah, Richard Hughes, or Hughesy? something like that. However, he calls himself on the internet. He wrote a bit of an article, an inflammatory one at that, saying System 76 in the LVFS. And TLDR, don't buy System 76 hardware and expect to get firmware updates from LVFS. And right at the bottom of the article, he says, you're better off buying, I don't know, a Dell XPS or something like that instead of System 76. It's like, really? Really? That's the note you want to end on? So the big issue here was that System 76 is, they have Pop! OS, which is their own custom version of Ubuntu, and you can, when you buy a computer from them, you can, it defaults to Pop! OS, but you can pick regular Ubuntu in some of the official spins. So it's, they were using, in order to do like UEFI upgrades without having to go into UEFI itself and just using like a flash drive to load the new file, they wanted to let you do it from userland, and that's great. And the way that GNOME handles it is via FWUPD, or firmware update, and LVFS. They have a bit of a shared infrastructure going on there, and System 76 tried to make use of it because, hey, it's a GNOME thing. We're using GNOME for Pop! OS. Might as well give it a try. And it didn't work for them. So they decided to go with something else. And, well, they made a blog post about it back when they decided to do that. And after Richard Hughes had posted that particular GNOME blog post, System 76 came out with a reply. And it said, look, yes, we are using UEFI, which is a proprietary tool, but it allows us to do what we want to do with no issues, with no freezing, with no basically stopping any and all keyboard input. So yeah, we're going to be using that. And they did have a bit of a back and forth with Richard Hughes, and he basically said, yeah, what you guys want to do, firmware update and LVFS will not exactly cover that case, so they went their own way. And then that that blog post.
So what I'm hearing here is basically this was an internet slap, right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Okay, I think
Very
I kind of
much.
put the bow on that because that's everyone picked their teams. There was Team GNOME, and Team System 76, and it's like, okay, really, I love to live in this future where things are going so well that we can argue about stuff like this, but. You know, I agree with you. I mean, System 76 wants to control the desktop to the point of rolling their own distribution, which they want to do that. They did that. It's a thing. They're going to be manufacturing their own systems. That's also a thing. Why is this a shock? I understand why they want to do it. They want to have control over it because, hey, man, what System 76 is really selling at the end of the day is support. That's what you're paying for. That's what you're paying the premium for. It's not... really any, I mean, hardware and all that, but that's the markup, and it makes it a lot easier. And they did make a very good point with the Spectre meltdown, stuff like that. They were able to get those patches out almost next day. I'm like, hey man, we could have done that any other way. Jill, you have some thoughts on this?
Oh yeah, I mean, this just proved to me that System 76 is fully committed to open software and open hardware. They're even talking about doing open hardware on the BIOS, and you know, controlling the LEDs in the computer with a separate daughter board, and that's been their dream, and that's what they want to do. It's awesome.
All right, what do we got coming up next? Firefox.
Yeah, so this is a huge release of Firefox, Firefox 60 Quantum. And for enterprise IT, they're going to be releasing two versions: Firefox Quantum Standard Rapid Release, which updates every 6 weeks, or Extended Support Release, which updates annually. And the big deal about this version is the security. Admins can block about config either by using group policy on Windows or a JSON file that works in Linux, Mac, or Windows. And actually, this is really huge in the Windows arena. And it's crucial for Firefox to gain stronghold in the Windows world, where Microsoft Edge is primarily used for so-called security and used for as seen as more secure. It never was, but but that's the rhetoric that they give a lot of the businesses and schools, and I'm a part of one that believes that. So, but it's also the first browser that's going to support WebAuth, which is a way to access your websites without having to put a password in by using a YubiKey. And actually, I have a YubiKey here that I use regularly, and that's really awesome. And it's also going to get rid of the extra space on the title bar. Thank goodness that's been fixed. That's been an annoyance in Linux for many years.
Oh, okay. Help me out here. Is my OCD power just not active? I've never noticed extra space in the title bar.
Well, that's because you weren't using Unity or GNOME.
Oh.
Yeah, the really huge title bars. Those.
Yes. I don't notice them because I'm using Flexbox or Window Maker, but they are a problem in Unity and GNOME.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. Yeah, man. They're going to do the improved WebRTC audio performance. That's going to upgrade. One thing I noticed is a new CSS engine for Android, because we can love Firefox all we want, but if we got to be honest with each other, it runs like junk on Android compared
Yeah, it does. Yes.
So
yeah, it does.
They do make a point that users in the United States, don't say just America because people in South America get angry, may now see an occasionally sponsored story within Pocket's recommendations. To which I'll say, Pedro, correct me if I'm right. I don't think this is a problem because nobody's ever used Pockets.
Nope. And it was actually a point of contention when Firefox started to include Pocket by default, and it's the first thing I do when I start up a fresh new profile of the Fox is to disable Pocket. Just get rid of it.
I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I don't really know what it does.
It's a place where you can not just bookmark, but actually save a locally cached copy of a website, so you can go back and read it later.
So it's like save for offline browsing?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's much more well integrated, and it doesn't require you to keep that HTML file or a specific bookmark for that. It's all there. It's all in the pocket, as it were.
All right. That's cool.
Yeah.
I found something that was kind of interesting earlier this week, and me being me, gotta be honest with you, it's like I can think of like 6 nefarious ways to use this. So it's sudo pair, a plugin for sudo that requires another human to approve and monitor privileged sudo sessions. This is launch codes for mission critical systems. You can't just sudo anything. It's got to be approved, and it sends it over. It's kind of neat how it works, isn't it, Pedro?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the way it works is you have the locally whatever local terminal session you're running, and the moment you run a sudo command, it requires authentication from someone else. Let's say you have another user. It could be on the same machine, or it could be on a machine over the network. And basically, they post you could just copy paste, or if they type out the authorization command. Not only will they let you run that sudo command, but they will also get a live copy of what you're doing in their own terminal. So whatever you're doing, they can see it. And it could be a great teaching tool. I can see its usefulness, basically just having like a tutor or a teacher actually looking at what you're doing without having to
on a
stare
scale of
over
1
your
to
shoulder.
10 was your first thought teaching tool? Be honest with me. Okay.
No. No, because the other thing that my brain went to was the very first thing that my brain went to was office grief or workplace grief engine. You will mess with your coworkers as much as you can when this is running.
You know, what was interesting about this is that it's used at Square, the company that makes the credit card adapters for phones. So that was really interesting. But yeah, I basically called it sudo times 2 because that's essentially what it is. You need 2 authorizations.
It is. I mean, if you have like mission critical stuff, like the system that, like Raspberry Pi system that dispenses beer at your place, and you know, you definitely want authorization so people don't like change anything in that. I like it. That's neat. I would never use it for the intended purpose, but don't worry, I'm not going to be in your work zone. This next story has Pedro written all over it because for some reason everyone is hyper excited about the project that this was originally based on. And I don't know why people are excited about that project, because it's possible to do with a tab in Chrome.
It's got a bit more functionality than that. So
you're right. This actually blows up your desktop and annoys you directly.
Yes, it does that too. But the thing about KDE Connect, at least for me, the big ones are being able to reply to text. You get a text, and it shows you the notification. If you hit the reply button, it lets you reply to the text without having to go across the room because your phone is charging on the other side of the room, and you can just reply right there from your keyboard. It also lets you, KDE Connect that is, it also lets you, basically whenever you get a call, whichever media player you're using will pause, and you'll think, okay, what happened? Why is my box frozen? And then the phone will start ringing. It's like, oh, thanks, KDE Connect. Appreciate it. So GNOME people were a bit dissatisfied with the state of the KDE Connect indicator, and especially the fact that it had to download the kitchen sink trademark just to get it to work, to be able to even use its basic functionality, be it the notifications, being able to browse the device, what have you. Well, not anymore, because now GS Connect is now a default, or will be a default as of Ubuntu 18.10. GS Connect is, of course, the GNOME implementation of KDE Connect, and it should give you the same functionality, should being the operative word there, without having to download the kitchen sink.
So you can look forward to 18.10 having annoying desktop notifications.
If you sync it up with your phone, you don't have to.
Yeah, and we talked about this a few weeks ago.
If I sync it up with my phone, why don't I just use my phone?
Because I would much prefer to reply to text using my keyboard than using touchscreen.
Just do it with like Gmail, man. You just hit reply. It sends it.
It's a nice addition to Cosmic Kettlefish.
It's a neat thing. This is one of those, definitely one of those projects that's like, hey, man, I don't get it, but I'm glad that other people enjoy it. And that's cool. Just be like, hey, man, I like it. And we're cool. No issues there. You've seen my desktop. This stuff like this is not allowed on. No.
Spartan is maybe putting a little bit too much flourish on Venn's desktop.
Functional. Okay, we're talking about Ubuntu, so let's talk about a small fire that sprung up earlier this week.
Teeny tiny.
A little bit. This comes from our Linux. All this business is going to be in our show notes. Come check those out after the fact. But caution, there's a fire right here in River City. Of course, this is Reddit, Owlbrain. Our malware snaps in Ubuntu Snap Store. Which, yeah, some snaps, probably all of Nicholas Toombs contains miner. This is the content of, all right, there's a crypto miner. It was in a snap store. And that's not the beginning of a weird song. Now, Ubuntu came back and they're like, whoa, okay, we found this. This is a real thing. It's not making it up. And they wrote a little thing on their blog. Kind of, all right, evil, naive, or interesting. It's evil. It's evil, canonical. Why are we having this conversation? And they're talking about a bunch of things. Now, at first, my first thought was, that took longer than expected, because I'm not picking on snaps, because this could happen with an app image. This could happen with a Flatpak. You have all the dependencies, whatever program it is, you got everything right there. And I, for one, was not surprised by this. It's like, yeah, all right, that was bound to happen. What I don't like is Canonical's response. It's just the way it's worded. It's like, well, you see, check this out. The gentleman who put crypto mining software and didn't tell anyone into the Snap store, he's just trying to make a couple extra bucks. He wasn't really doing it. I mean, we got to look at whether or not that's really even evil. Seriously?
I can see them trying to ameliorate the situation to, if this for some reason catches fire and the fire is directed at them, they are hoping that ameliorating the situation right now is probably going to quell those flames early.
I think it had quite the opposite effect because
Yeah.
that a lot of people, I'm not the only one. This is not a hot take from me just being grumpy like I normally am. This, because they dance around. They never call it what it is. It's malware.
It is malware.
I mean, just Canonical. It's malware. Just be like, yo, this is malware. If you walked out, be like, yeah, we nope this. And they didn't even say in the blog, like, this guy's permanently banned. Let's make an example. I'm 100% behind that. They didn't do that. And it just came across to me as it's being framed of, hey, you know, open source. This guy didn't develop anything. He just packaged a snap and shoved some crypto mining software. And he's like, he's just trying to make a couple extra bucks, guys. I mean, is that so bad? Yes, it is. It is canonical.
It is.
100%. Not acceptable. And that blog post just really read like, you know, this could very well happen again, and there's currently no protections in place that will stop it. Jill?
Yeah, so, you know, of course, one of the main reasons that Linux puts files in different directories is for security reasons. And again, like Venn said, I'm actually surprised it hasn't happened sooner. This has been a problem with self-contained apps for Windows for many, many years. Yeah, many years. And, you know, it's just, it was bound to happen. And I remember when even Shuttlesworth was talking about snaps, I was thinking that when I was listening to his talk, I'm like, uh-oh, malware. So,
yeah.
Yeah,
and you actually bring up a really good point. It's if there's any question as to the maliciousness of this particular crypto jacking attack in these snaps, because there was more than one, is that the developer was not only aware of it, he actively tried to dissimulate the software as systemd.
Yes. Yeah.
Systemd,
Exactly.
one of the most intrusive bits of software ever created for Linux, according to some people.
Yes.
According to other people, it's actually moderately alright in its system. But the fact of the matter is, it is under a lot of scrutiny. And the people
I'm
who...
sorry, somebody just started writing that hate mail after listening to the first part of it, and they got like half a sentence, and they're like, but he defended it too. No.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
when I was reading... yeah.
It's really... It's malware. Just call it for what it is, and even if it's not getting access to your personal files because Snapd as a containerizing system. Ooh, I bumped the microphone. I apologize. It also still uses your hardware. It still works as a native application would when it comes to your hardware. That level of abstraction only stops it from accessing the rest of your system. You're still basically powering this person's crypto mining operation. No! That's bad.
Not the first time we've seen a Bitcoin miner hiding in an application, Pedro.
No, it isn't.
I mean, it's a dangerous game of chess, one might say.
It's like, why do you need at least 8 threads to even start a chess game?
Oh, it's AI, bro. It's AI. Now, admittedly, this is years ago. We do a gaming
like
show.
5 years ago?
It was so long ago that it was still feasible to mine Bitcoin with CPUs. So,
but yeah, it's the AI. It's the complex math. No, it isn't.
Jill, do you got any extra thoughts on this?
No, we pretty much covered it. But yeah, the Linux Journal, definitely they kept kept talking about how it's masquerading as a systemd package, and that's scary, like Pedro was saying.
As if systemd wasn't bad enough.
Yeah.
Give me that email. All right.
Yeah.
Coming up next, PGP failed. This got a lot of attention. I was like, a lot of y'all just posers, because let's be honest with each other. We all know what PGP is. It's the thing everyone knows about, talks about, don't nobody use it. This is also a thing, man. There wasn't. Who's this from? This is from EFF, directly from them. There was an issue with implementation of it with certain clients. There's not a problem with PGP itself. And the biggest thing that it was dealing with was the Thunderbird and a couple other had some issues, but it was HTML markup and stuff like that, to which I immediately thought, okay, why in the world of worlds would there be any reason to send an email that was worth encrypting to this point, that's that important? Why would it include HTML or any other type of rich formatting in the first place? Question
it
mark?
Doesn't.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. And if one of the things that they brought up when PGP is like, oh, PGP when used with certain clients, will like Enigmail for Thunderbird and whatnot, it's actually leaking your encrypted message.
I just love the response. It's like, 1, the paper is misnamed. 2, the attack targets buggy email clients. The authors of the paper, basically, this is what he's saying, but I like the way I said it better. The authors just made a list of buggy email clients.
Yeah. So, and they lopped in GPG, which is the GNU version of PGP. And it's like, oh, so GPG isn't as vulnerable as PGP, and like most of the mainstream media was trying to get everyone to believe.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I even saw an article that said, oh, use Signal instead. There's been a bug discovered with that one too, because hey, guess what? That uses S-MIME. You know what else was cracked along with PGP? S-MIME. Yes.
Yes.
Terrified, Jill?
Yeah. Well, Semantic was just trying to spread the bad press about EPG, but this is actually scary, and it's kind of one of the reasons why I don't use pretty good privacy, because it really isn't. And and you know, it's had issues over the years, but this is definitely the EFL vulnerability. For sure.
I mean, I, for one, welcome our black helicopter overlords, and I like the bows.
Yeah.
Like, the authors have done the community a good service by cataloging buggy email clients. We're grateful to them for that.
Yeah.
We do wish, though, this had been handled with a little less hype, but that is so hard to do in 2018, isn't it?
Yes.
A whole lot of people got scared for very little.
2018. Let's go back to 2013 when Heartbleed came out. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Man, that was an actual vulnerability, though.
It was, but it was completely blown out of proportion.
So let's go from scary to this isn't even terrifying, because you might be terrified at first when you think about this, but the more you think about it, it just seems kind of sad. We're talking about GNOME removing the ability to launch binary apps from Nautilus. No, this is not April 1st, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, that does sound like something for that date. Yet this is no joke. I mean, I'm genuinely convinced at this point, I am 100% convinced that GNOME developers are actively trolling the community just to see, it's like, let's see if we can get away with doing this. If you're thinking, it's like, okay, you open Nautilus, say you want to open just any executable in there. Nope, not going to happen. Like, oh, why would I do that? App images, there's a good use right there. It's not going to happen. Program shortcuts, nope. Scripts, Why are they making this change? Oh, man, if somebody had a decrypted trod for why GNOME does stuff. To me, I kind of feel like this is a good example of what happens when a team, their design focus is aimed at like potential users down the road, and at the same time ignoring the people who actually use their product.
Yeah.
But their solution is you can still run the binary apps Yeah, you can. And their solution is like just open up a terminal, bro.
Yep.
Yeah, because that's easier than double clicking in it, gnome.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, this is just was really annoyed me. My first reaction on reading this article is what the heck? Because I use this functionality all the time in all my file managers. And do you mean I have to remember not to use Nautilus to launch app images and scripts, etc.? And there are those of us who don't use the known desktop who like to use the Nautilus file manager to manage their files. And I'm one. I use it under Flexbox and Window Maker and XFCE. So they're completely denying us access with their file manager.
There is that argument, though. I mean, you can use what you want. I mean,
yes, you can use what you want, but Nautilus has long outlived its prime time. You want to use something that gives you the same functionality.
Well, come on, let's be honest. It's not like Dolphin is the new hotness.
No. Dolphin is a bloated mess at this point that needs to be looked at. I'm actually talking about Nemo, the cinnamon fork, or Caja, the mate fork.
You're just making up words.
No, those two will actually give you basically the exact same functionality or more functionality now out of the box. And Nautilus isn't even the first file manager to do this. I think it was Thunar that didn't let you run SH scripts by default, but you could just change one of the options. You just changed it, and it looks, well, now you double click, and it gives you the option to either run it, view the text, or whatever.
Okay,
so
all right.
it's...
I'm going to try to play Flying Spaghetti Monsters advocate on this. It's mental gymnastics, ladies and gentlemen.
Good luck.
What if the argument is a file manager should do one thing, and that's manage files? It's not there to launch stuff. Is that such a crazy idea?
It's not such a crazy idea, but how are you going to launch stuff? If you're looking for a specific file, chances are you're going to have the file manager open. And if that file happens to be an application and you want to run it, do you have to start a separate app or right-click, open a terminal just to launch it when it was expected functionality up until now that you just double-click it and it launches?
Well, people hate change, and that's one thing that will never change. It's not a big deal. Ultimately, I think this is overhyped too. Yeah, it's.
It is.
To most people, it does. Yeah. It did make a lot of people take pause and look a bit sideways and go, "Really? We're doing that? Okay."
Well, truthfully, a lot of us Linux users use file managers as, our Swiss Army knife, and I, for one, do. I actually use PC, ManFM and MLFM as well, because of that power. I like to have more control, but I use Nautilus a lot too to do that.
Well, I can't think of a lot of stuff I actually launch. I use Thunar. My first reaction to basically launching everything is right-click, open terminal. So,
yeah.
I don't even know if that would affect me. All right.
Yeah, it's expected functionality that was already there and now it's gone.
Yeah.
That's the issue here.
Pray they do not alter the rules further. Asteroid OS, that's right. It's Thing 1.0. It's out, man. 4 years ago, this dude envisioned an open source operating system for smartwatches, and now we have the first point release of his project. And it's there. It's out. Bunch of cool things in the release. I think you want to tell me about it, man. All this hot stuff.
It's a dedicated operating system that's not just like Android Wear. That's just basically an add-on to whichever Android-enabled device you happen to have. This one is a dedicated operating system that runs on your smartwatch, and they already support. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. Yes. 8 different devices. It's the common ones: the LG G Watch, the Sony Smartwatch 3, the Asus Zen Watch, basically all the variations of the Asus Zen Watch. And yeah, it's one of the things that they are still
Pedro,
trying to work on.
You can finally SSH into your watch. I mean, it's every little boy's dream come true.
Yeah, that kind of neatly ties into the point I was going to make, because it's a full-blown operating system running on your watch. See, for all the criticism and for all the issues that I could leverage at Android Wear, mostly it just being an add-on and not doing much on its own, I think that going full-on dedicated operating system for that platform is not exactly the right way, because yes, you can SSH into your watch, but hey, guess what? Now it's also open to a gang of other different things which were, for better or worse, locked away inside Android Wear. So, I don't know, it feels like they may have... well, they didn't so much as stick the landing as they completely missed it and landed on the next galaxy over.
All right. Seriously. Couple of things with this. Yeah, it runs on, correctly, 7 watches, not 8. But they showed 8. Wayland. This uses Wayland. I love that. That makes me happy. It also takes use of pulse audio. So you win some, you lose some on that.
Yeah.
Something that was really neat in the documentation, you can dual boot if you don't want to get rid of your original Android OS. That's the thing. I thought that was really neat. For me, not a fan of wrist jewelry, and if you're wearing wristwatches in 2018 outside of like some wicked specialized use cases, it's jewelry. All right, just sell it to yourself like that.
There's no smartness here. It's just a wristwatch.
I don't need another thing to charge up. Plus, I firmly believe that clocks are an invention. I always say invention by the Swiss, even though it's like, oh, the Chinese invented it. Yes, I know that, but it sounds better when you say the Swiss for people with lazy minds, because I always got to know what time it is.
Yeah, well, actually, it is nice that there's another version of Linux in this space. Actually, several years ago, WebOS, there was going to be a WebOS Watch OS, and it never took off, unfortunately. But it's nice to see another contender other than Android and iOS in this space.
Listen, I'm completely... for the first release of this is impressive work, and more than likely, it'll give you an excuse to go find your Android Wear watch and use it again for a week. And then, because I don't think anything that lasts half a day, no. I mean, you're not going to be tether charging. I mean, if you got to take it off.
It's a wristwatch. It's got to last at least a full day. Make it, I don't know, 18 hours, 20 hours, 24 hours. Just play it safe.
Here's what I want.
Make the battery last for 24 hours.
Futurama Leela. Give me like a 3000 milliamp. Give me a full screen. Make it touch. Yes. And also make it, don't, actually, I take that back. Make it fragile enough to where I won't use it as a weapon. Because otherwise, I'd smack around everyone with it. We're about to get into Slice of Pie. We want to take a quick minute to thank the beautiful party patrons that are making this show possible. This show was a Patreon goal. You guys have helped us out, made it possible, making $250 wet stinky cashes every week, financing not this, but a Tuesday stream with Pedro. He was forcing the business and bringing that on. The Canadians are going to back Thursday. They're going to be doing that with, they're invading Boston, right? That Boston lockdown. And Friday, I'm going to be here for Trivia Night. That's going to be a thing. Joe will be joining us.
Yay!
If you like our nonsense, you want to help us out, or if you're currently helping us out, thank you. You get a bunch of things. You get to hang out in our Discord chat, early access, custom feed for the audio, the pre-super shows. And if you want to listen to what we thought about Avengers, we spoiled the snot out of that last week, well, Saturday, and access to our full uncut episodes. Thanks, everyone, for making this possible. I think that's pretty good. We should
yes.
Well, no, come on, Pedro, to be like, oh, please give us money. No, I don't like doing that.
Well, I could perhaps try to entice you with say the promise of maybe doing a teeny tiny little merch run. See, Jill already beat us to the punch, and she's got her she managed to convince someone to offer her a LWDW mug. That's my story, and I'm sticking to
Trademark infringement. I've already sent our lawyers.
Yay!
But hey, if you like something like that, and you'd like to help us get to that particular Patreon goal, you can do that.
Well, we were
Just teeny
talking
tiny
about
amount.
before we went live. Definitely looking. I am currently looking to places to build our alpha site, an open studio.
Yay! So cool.
The pre-Kansas site is
Kansas,
is coming.
Kansas.
Kansas.
Listen,
Yeah, the pre-Kansas site.
listen, fam. It's called Kansas.
Kansas.
Aw.
That's the thing. We're gonna do some baby steps with having a place where everyone can come over. And yes, it does have a bar on the roof. Deal with it.
Yes.
Slice of pie, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into it. This is anything small, open source, and pretty cool.
Possibly a
1960.
Raspberry Pi paste.
Hit me with
Yeah.
it. 1960.
Okay, so the first one is TouchPi, and well, someone got themselves a 1960s console stereo, and they wanted to bring it to the 21st century with a touchscreen. It's like, okay, all right, that's a good idea. How about the buttons, though? Are you just going to leave the buttons there as ornamental? And there it is in the video. He's using the buttons, and the buttons are working. You got me.
Yeah.
No,
That
that was
awesome.
kind of meh at first,
Okay,
and that
wait.
right there is
What type of
just
person
pretty good.
creates something like this? Like a hipster with an identity crisis? I mean,
Yeah.
what?
someone with quite a great deal of time and resources on their hands.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I mean, I always like to see mechanical and digital thrown together like that.
Yeah, and he actually there's a picture of just the buttons on the teeny tiny PCBs to show you the actuators of how they work. That is just genius. Well played.
Right, good times.
That's awesome.
Jill, you're going to tell us about
Yeah.
mini pies.
Yes, this is the world's smallest Pi gaming device using the Raspberry Pi Zero W. It's really cute, and Pedro even said it's about twice the length and width of a Lego minifigure. And it uses the Pico 8 game engine, the same as in the Pocket Chip, because the dimensions of the screen are 120 by 120, so it has to be a game engine that supports that. And the article talks about what he did to modify it and modify the buttons and the joystick and the jog dial. So he's going to release eventually instructions on how he did it. But it was just an amazing little project, and Frostclaw in chat brought this to our attention. It was really cool.
Yeah, why not?
It's so tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen,
It's ever
so
since
cute.
the chip is gone now, this is a good alternative. And it's
Yeah,
really not
yeah.
that much bigger.
that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, just looking at that, any attempt, it's already lost, is what it is. I'm like,
Yes.
that thing would disappear so hard in my house.
Yeah, it's like, where did I put it? I just had it in my hand.
Right.
Where is it?
Okay, one more before we get out of here. Bash Project, Arthurian, one of our executive producers, sent this into our show notes. That's one. See, we're horrible at plugging. That's something you get access to as a patron. Bash Project networked Raspberry Pi displays. If you have 6 displays laying around and 7 Raspberry Pis, you can set this business up, man. I mean, you just need those gang of Pis. Set one up as a master, and it feeds the video to the other 6 over Ethernet, which I thought that's kind of cool. They didn't give any instructions on exactly how they set this up, though. But I was like, all right,
Yeah.
that's neat. I kind of threw this in, like, if anyone knows exactly how they did that, that could be useful for a video wall display I may or
definitely.
may not be interested in setting up. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually, I've done
it's,
digital signage, so this is cool.
Yeah.
admittedly, my first thought, now that's a cool hacky way to do it. If you have the kit, my first thought is like just buy a Matrox card with like 12 inputs out on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have all the heads on it. Yeah.
Like a third-hand one that chances are it's still going to work and it's going to output to all of those displays, no issues whatsoever.
Yeah.
But using the Raspberry Pis, I'm pretty sure that 7 Raspberry Pis, just playing a video on a loop or running a presentation or whatever you're using that particular mosaic of monitors for, it's going to use less power than that Matrox card.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And this is a good thing. I mean, as soon as you start, I remember we were looking into video signage for a bar I used to own. That anything customized like that just instantly goes to stupid pricing.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah,
definitely.
And I mean, we're not even talking like fancy video. We're just talking like LED scrolls that are programmable. I mean, it's immediately
and the pedals are pretty cheap. It's the software that you're paying for.
Right. The usability.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe you got some ideas, thoughts, hints, allegations. We got some stuff wrong. Maybe we got some stuff right. Maybe you got a question for us, an idea. Just, I don't know. Maybe you just want to write Pedro fanfic. How could they go about doing that?
Well, you can go about scarring yourself emotionally for the rest of your life on linuxgamecast.com by hitting the contact button and submitting that as a bit of feedback for LWDW. Make sure to pick that on the little drop-downy box. Or some hate mail for the Saturday show. That's, I'm guessing it would be far more appropriate for that particular show. Or if you don't want to scar yourself emotionally, you could ask Jordan for relationship advice. Why not?
I forget the name of the developer, so I'm going to give them a mention on Saturday's show. But I do want to mention this. Thanks. If I don't follow you on Twitter and you send me a DM, it kind of goes into a separate folder from the main DMs from the people I follow. Don't get angry if I don't get back to you on those, because I never check that folder. I just happened to check it last night because I installed a new Twitter client, because a regular Twitter client on my Android device is being a butt. And that's when I saw the game development company. They had said a thing, and they're like, "Hey guys, check this out." So I was like, "Hey, go to our contact page." I didn't give them instructions. I just said, "Go to our contact page. See if you can, I don't know, read." Because you got to send us 3 keys so we can all test it out in 3 different systems. And they did, and I was like, "Good on you." I just wanted to say, if I've not gotten back to you on Twitter and you've sent me a DM, peace out. It's not just @reply me in public, and I'll get a notification about that. So, we're not doing our job, Pedro.
Yeah, no, apparently not. So Jolly had a bit of a question. Dude, you promised my name in the credits. I was just catching up on my LGC and noticed between Linux Gamecast Weekly 294, hurt me daddy, and Linux Weekly Daily Wednesdays 113, Con of the Penguin, a paragraph of names disappeared from the credits. Did I miss a memo somewhere? I hope you have a backup.
You're just seeing things, man.
It just poofed.
No one go back and confirm or deny that. You're just
Yeah.
No, that's definitely a thing. It's been sorted. It's like the semi-automated process we use for the CSV file that helps generate. Then I plug that in and record the credits each week. So there was a glitch in the matrix. It's been sorted. It wasn't a terrible.
Yay!
I just want to say I was kind of floored that somebody in the history of Evers watched one of our nonsense things we do to the completion. I'm like, what?
Not just that, but they were paying attention.
Yes.
It's terrifying. So it should be fixed. Everyone check out those credits and make sure I didn't miss anything. So then I'll confirm that everything's working again. What do we have up next?
Up next, we have some startup issues. So Diego is asking, "Hey people, is there a way to make a reverse startup disk?" Why would you decide to call it that?
You flip it upside down.
Yeah. So I have my setup the way I like it and want to make a live USB out of it. Can this be done? Yes. If you if you just want to make a live image, and you can probably sort out the install or the copy on your own, there are a couple of tools. There's Linux Respin or Linux Live Kit. Those seem to be the 2 major ones that people are using nowadays. There used to be one called System Back, but that's no longer being actively developed. So your mileage may vary.
How do these tools work? I've never given this any thought? Is it like, okay, snapshot this and shove it on like a 16 or 32 gig drive, or?
Yeah, something like that. It uses SquashFS to create an ISO similar to how you have Ubuntu live image, or basically any distro's live
Now,
image.
here's a question also, though. Like, let's say you're using a live is there a live image in creation that exists in 2018 that you can't already just customize and save?
If you're burning it into a non-rewritable media, yes.
Why
But this,
would you hate yourself?
I don't know.
Well, actually, I used to do this because it saves all your settings for all the programs you're using. And if you have thousands of programs installed, like I do when I'm doing animations and whatnot, I've done this before. I've made snapshots on live disks.
Well, I wouldn't do live. I mean, snapshots I get, rsync I get, DD I get.
Well, you could take it somewhere and show it to someone, all your configurations. Actually, I did that once. I showed a student how I had mine set up.
Okay, well, here's more questions. Yeah. I'm trying to make it logical. Say you needed to deploy and you didn't know about network deployment. Could you also, if you'd modified your system image, made it bootable and usable, would it deploy that on a separate box?
You could use it for that.
Yes.
Linux Respin actually has an option just for that. Honestly, I don't know, because on my end, what I do is whenever I do a fresh install, I do all the basic configurations that I want, save that as a Clonezilla image, and before I do any of the encryptions or anything else, I just save that as a Clonezilla image, then push it off to a external hard drive, and it sits there.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, the last time I did it was with Knoppix, so that shows you how long ago it's been for me.
The last time I booted a DVD or CD was, get ready, because I'm not making this up, Hannah Montana Linux, because it was the first distribution with a live version of Wayland on it.
Yes.
And
it was.
That was the thing. That was like the one time I used my dual layer DVD burner in. Yeah, that thing's been up for years. So it's been like 6-7 years ago. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's been fun. We're going to bounce out of here. We're about to pull the credits up because the show's not going to get any better than what we delivered. Come check out the Canadians tomorrow. Come check us out on the game show, Linux Gamecast Weekly. Yeah, we're still calling it that. That's going to be Saturday. That's going to be the big thing. If you like weird stuff. Until then, say bye to everyone. Come on, you can do it.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye, chat realm.
And
thank you, chat realm.
Boom. Let's see if I get the credits right.
Okay, let's see. Jolly, keep an eye on your name, or keep an eye out for your name.
If I had time to think about it, I would have just gotten all of our 3 names just wrong or something, or just replaced them. Hey, I think we got everyone in here now.
Yeah.
Yeah. There it is. I saw Jolly. Yeah.
And thank you, Foxy, for the PGP fail story. You posted it on Google Plus real quick.
See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye, chat room.
Boop. All right. Good show.
Nailed it. I smacked the microphone this week.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
And it was a significant smack.
Here's
moved.
the problem.
Yeah.
These are not big monitors. These are like 21-inch monitors, but they're big enough for my natural reflexes to smack Pedro when he did that. So that's what you didn't see, was legitimately go, wait, don't have a monitor. That's not really a Pedro.
It's like I smacked the little metal thingy that holds the pop filter, and it moved the microphone forwards. Like, oh, oops.
Aww.
All right, let's see. Where we at? Boop, 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 boop. All right. Background noise going. I gotta save this junk. And don't worry, Pedro. Next week I will have hopefully muted audio for you as well. That's part of your reward for the beta participation program here at Stone Labs.
Thank you, Matthew. Yes. Well, this time it wasn't
you can
too
still
bad.
do the voting. I think there were some suggestions. I saw a few go by.
Yeah, I'll pull that up.
Oh, yeah.
Vote.linuxgamecast.com. I'll get that
Call.
up in just a hot second. Let's take a look. Sudo X2.
Yeah.
Your mileage may about
Variety.
Kansas site. System 70 drama. Pedro written all over it. That's horrifying.
You don't want that.
Oh,
You really
yes,
don't
we-
want that.
Oh,
It's just a whole lot of sadness.
I like Pedro written all over it. That's cute.
This is a lot of sadness and poverty and desperation. It's not nice.
Let's see, where's Clocky? Wake up, Clocky.
Oh. Hi, Patrick.
What's the point of squinting? I have perfect vision, but that's a natural. That must be like a genetic or just inbuilt thing. Like when you need to focus, you squint.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're quite literally closing your eyes to everything else to focus on the thing you will want to see. Yeah.
I'll make these rolls.
Hi, Empty. Empty.
The Imp Meister. Apparently, this is Hot Sexy Dudes Month on LGC Weekly.
Oh,
You can
yes.
tell by some of
To be
our-
fair, that's the exact same picture.
Aw.
Oh, it
It's
is.
just the lower third.
Aw, hi, Patrick, sweet mom.
They were
Hello
here
from.
last week.
Hello.
Where's it at?
Everspace.
All right.
Jordan.
This is what we're looking at. I've already ordered one of these. So this is
Yeah.
what you're going to
Yeah.
be dealing with, Pedro.
Cool.
Me trying to figure out if we can Borg this thing into our audio chain.
That's awesome.
Is that a USB Type A?
Yeah.
Yes.
Type B on the front?
Type it.
No, the Type A is the regular one, the rectangular one.
I'm just repeating what you said, sweetheart.
Type B.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
it's
my
like-
bad.
The one used for printers.
Yeah, those cables are really useful.
I
I have
know.
like 3 of them that I don't use for anything else.
And I got pipettes. I got some of those kind of heading here in the mail, like no joke. This is a life hack. If you order chemical supply company chemicals and stuff from Visage Labs, just order a pipette. They're just like, you cheap bastard. They'll throw a handful in because they're like 30 cents a piece.
Oh. Oh, hello to Kresny. Good to see you in. Yay. He played the Rocket Leagues with you on Saturday. That was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Nemo.
Everyone keep an eye out. If Pedro, you'll know this. Maybe Joe will too. I'm not a very clever person. If you put something, Pedro, I think you're the one who told me. If you have something on your wish list, it'll notify you if it goes on sale.
Yes,
Okay. then
on
we're
Steam,
good.
yeah.
Because I think like Fridays are pretty much going to be trivia focused, and it's like, I'm gonna pick up some more Jackbox packs so we can just play around with them.
Yeah.
I ain't paying $24 for no Flash trivia thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We're gonna get some more mileage out of the one we have, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
Yeah, it notifies you of when it goes on sale. If you put an early access game in your wish list when it's released, it also sends you a notification. And if you have a game that hasn't been released yet in one shape or another, it's just coming soon. Even if it comes out in early access, you also get a notification for that. But the notification tells you it came out in early access.
Yeah. I see them every day because I have hundreds of games on my wish zone under Steam.
Yes, you do. A game lasts like at max 15, 20 minutes. It's like, Jill wants this game. Yeah, I know. Jill has wanted games before I discovered they existed. It's like, oh, what's this?
Yes.
I have like 90-something games on my wish list, most of which are Linux games. Some I specifically added to my wish list because, oh yeah, now Steam tells developers how many people on each platform are wish listing their game. It's like, okay, all the Windows games I want to play on Linux, wish list them all. There we go.
I have 4 because I bought one of the Jackbox party packs. Discord, yeah, I don't know what was going on, Dak. It cleared up at the end though, didn't it? Because I think
yeah. He sounded really good at the end. He was fine.
Yeah, the input stream was picking up on the monitor stream from the output. That's why you were just basically feeding us the game audio.
Right, let's see.
That's the good thing about Pavu control. It's
Yes.
oh, you're using that. Okay, no, use this one instead. There we go.
What is that?
Oh. Oh my, that's cool. Is that a game console?
It's a fight stick.
Oh, okay.
It's like an arcade joystick type thing with the buttons.
Oh, that's
It's
cool.
mostly used for
Yeah.
fighting games. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. It's very similar to the ones on the arcade machine. So, let's see.
It's got a Type B plug coming out of the little metal thingy.
Cool.
I'll be honest with everyone. Unless that was adamantium with the fake wood covering, I'd be scared to own something like that. Because I'm not one to rage, but when it happens, things don't survive. That looks...
Especially in fighting games, you're already button mashing for the most part, and if
Yeah.
you lose, it's like it's a natural reaction. It's like, oh, I broke it. Well, damn.
Very true, huh, Rohit? That's awesome.
Bring him to fighting game. That's one way to look at it. I'll just say that. Real mayor. I don't know, man. Really, the only modern... I mean, I'm sorry, Street Fighter 5's totes coming, you guys. Just anybody.
Oh yeah, totally. Valve's helping us with this.
Skullgirls is basically the only thing resembling a competent arcade fighter that we have on Linux. Still. And that game's, what, 2-3 years old now?
Yeah. And it was vaporware for over a year. The Linux version, anyway.
Let's see. Lab Zero, but we'll be talking about Lab Zero Saturday. Get some news about their upcoming title, Indivisible.
Yes. Indivisible. Yes.
Hi, Truggy.
King of Fight? Don't think so.
Yeah, I would be really happy to see the new King of Fighters coming out on Linux, or the new Guilty Gear, just a Linux port out of the blue. Poof! There we go. I would be very happy with that.
Oh,
but
the
I don't
Soldat,
think
is that...
Namkai Bando really cares.
Soldat, I have to be very careful with controllers. I say that with no ego whatsoever. I genuinely have not held a controller that I could easily snap this if I sneeze too hard. And my hands move the wrong way.
This one almost flew across the room. I was playing Dark Souls 2 because there was a freaking boss. F that freaking boss. And it was like the third or fourth time in a row that I was attempting to beat it. It's like, here. Nope. No, 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 no. Put it down. Get up. Do something else.
Aww.
Well, that's always a sign of a good game, you filthy wine heretic.
Yeah.
It's something that just ticks you off, but you gotta come back. Hollow Knight was that for me. Not all the Hollow Knight bosses, but a lot of the Hollow Knight bosses were just like, okay, take a break before you break something.
I still remember that stupid beetle mage thingy. That's the fight starts out on the rooftop, and then it smashes through the ground, and it goes to phase 2. It's like the first time I beat it on the roof. It's like, yay! I finally beat. Oh, what the hell? Oh.
There was a decided extra excess of like, really? Oh man, all right. Which irritated me because I had stacked all my charms for phase 1. Then I was at the realization, it's like, nope, that's just the beginning. So I had to go back and recalculate. Well, that was set up.
But I finally beat it. I was very happy when I finally beat it. I got the key to the sewers now. I get to go to the sewers. Yay! I can't see anything. Yay! I did make it down to that place at the bottom of the map, basically. That you, in order to get back up, either you have the ticket. Yeah, Deep Nest. You either have the ticket for the cable car, or you have to do the wall jump all the way up the big pit with the spikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was annoying. Because I made it down there, I had no idea what I was doing. It's like, oh, I can go this way. So I made it this, like, oh, I can progress past this point because I need something else. Huh.
There's a well-hidden charm down there that it's one of those things I looked up and was like, what is that charm? And then I saw the just ass hattery you had to go through to get it. I was like, all right, Team Cherry, I love you, but there's no way that would have been discovered. No one stumbled across like this bizarre moon sequence of, because the game's huge if you don't know Hollow Knight.
Yeah.
Like, I'm playing a 2D platformer and it's 6 gigs to download.
It's almost the same size as the PS2 version of Castlevania Symphony of the Night. And it's all 2D. So it's like, oh, it's almost the same size, like file size wise, but the game map is huge.
Yeah, for me, it's never been the controller. It's been the keyboard and mouse. And when I first played the original Portal, and my mouse, I had to get a new, bought a new mouse because the buttons were sticking because of that game. Because I got so excited and I was like, I like squished it.
You managed to break your mouse with a 2-hour game. Really?
Yeah. I got. Well, technically, it took me a little longer to get through it because visually, you know, I'm a little bit just a little bit slower. So because I'm just using one eye, so I do have an excuse. But I still got it through. I did it in about 2.5 hours.
Yeah. The first time playing it through, I did it in almost exactly 2 hours, and I'm pretty sure I lost like 15 minutes in a single level because I had no idea what to do, no idea where to go. It's like, where am I going? I have no... What?
Yeah.
So I was meandering about, going through all the places I had already unlocked. It's like, what do I do now?
Yeah, for me, when it was Portal 2, and that was when I set up my 3 monitors. Like, oh, now I can see it. It was just, oh. And that game's of course a lot longer, but
Yeah.
that was.
I mean, the first game had what, 3 people or 4 people working on it,
Yeah.
and the second one had the entire Valve working on it.
Yes, it was awesome. Yes.
And yes, it is Fallout 2. It's my all-time favorite game. And now
Yeah,
that the property is owned by Bethesda, it will never, ever see anything even coming close to a Linux remaster or Linux port even. So that's sad.
That's sad.
Oh yeah. It is crap.
Oh.
It looks like
Yeah.
crap. It came out in 1998 and it was no Quake. It certainly was no Quake. It looks very Icewind Dale-ish. Because it was using the exact same engine as Icewind Dale.
Ooh, okay, I'd lose money.
Oh.
What are we talking about?
And
Fallout 2.
Fallout 2.
Mhm.
Never played it.
Yeah. 1998. Really, really good year for video gaming.
Not if you were
Yeah.
on Linux.
yeah, that was.
Not if you were on Linux.
Yes, I was trying to get a lot of the wine games to play, a lot of the Windows games to play under Linux.
It's not 120p. It renders in 640 by 480. You can get 2x scaling if you have a high enough resolution monitor to support it. Or you can just have like pixel perfect and just increase the size of the of what you can see on screen, which is my preferred way of doing it.
Oh, and the Sildat. I would like to. I actually would like to see your controller, your fighting controller. He said he made the one that he showed us was not his, but he made one similar to it, and I'd like to see it if you had a picture of it. It'd be cool.
Fallout 2 is that game for me that I use as like a palate cleanser. Every now and then, I'll get the urge. I'll play all the way through it, explore everything, and still manage to find that one thing that I missed all those other times before. It's like, oh, this was in here the whole time.
Yeah, I'm the exact
Well played,
same way
Black
with,
Isle.
like tic-tac-toe. What do we got this week? We had Hover.
Yeah,
Yes,
that looks like
God.
fun. Have you played it yet, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, sure, it works.
Yeah.
I mean, I derped around at the tutorial, and I think it's gonna be multiplayer. Should be interesting. It's basically a racing game with legs.
Yeah.
How's that going forward? Kind of a Jet Set Radio-ish vibe. I don't know. They got a lot of ideas in that game. I don't know if it's been smashed together all that well. We'll probably play a little. We might play a little bit Saturday in the after shows. And
Cool. Yeah, it looks like fun.
Yeah, Wasteland 3. I still need to finish Wasteland 2. I got stuck at a bit where I'm basically out of healing abilities and healing items, and there's a pretty difficult fight. And my save is just before that fight. It's like, I can't really go much of anywhere else right now. I need to do this fight, but
that's a thing.
what I prefer in Fallout 2 over Wasteland 2 is that in Fallout 2 it's basically one character. You control your character, and the party members are just basically NPCs that go along with you. In Wasteland 2, it's got the whole party thing going on again, like Icewind Dale, like Baldur's Gate, like the original Wasteland even. And it's... I don't really like that all that much. I much prefer like the single character focus.
The only thing about the new
Fallout
Fallouts
series.
that I don't like, and I'm very simplistic, mostly carbon-based entity, is I'm nuts and bolts. It's the same reason I have a problem. I don't have a problem with Borderlands, but I can't dig it as hard as a lot of people. Is when you shoot somebody and a hit point pops up over their head, I'm sorry, my internal bullshit-o-meter just pegs. I'm like, nope, can't do this. Might as well make it turn-based at that point.
Yeah, there's a few mods for Fallout 2 and Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, which basically just make the combat deadly. They increase the damage of all guns, your guns, the enemy's guns, everyone's just deals like 6 times more damage or 10 times more damage. So combat becomes short and sweet, and you're going to die a lot.
Oh, this is like playing Quake 2 with railguns, man.
Yeah.
Oh, cool, Sildat. That's awesome. I just did all that stuff.
It does have the added
Cool.
advantage of no one ever stealing it, because it's difficult to make out exactly what the hell it is.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just a jewelry box. Oh, that's just a candy box. Oh, that's just...
Yeah.
It's a crayon box. Because it's got a little cartoony character on the front.
I have a box. I guess it's just a box with a lid on it. Somebody got it, like a gift or something. They gave it to me, like, and they're very proud of it. Like, what's up with this? Why'd you give me I mean, it's a nice wooden box with handles. I didn't know what was going on. And
We could.
I looked at it, it's made out of some wicked expensive wood. I think like a 200.
Yeah.
I have a multi-$100 box.
I could just see Vin not knowing what to do with it.
It was legit. I didn't know. All right, I learned though. What do you put your nice? No, this goes on the nice box.
This is so funny because I love getting boxes like that. That means that there's something else I can put collectibles in. You know, it's like storage.
I guess. I mean, it weighs a ton for its size, but what else? I mean, listen. Each to their own. Those are things that I don't understand. It's like, okay, I guess I'll take better care of this one.
Aww. What kind of wood was it made out of then? Hardwood?
Do you
softwood?
honestly think? Yeah, it was hardwood, man. Come on, no, it was made out of balsa wood.
Balsa,
No,
okay.
it wasn't. Jill, come on, think about
Well,
it.
that balsa is... No, my dad used to make surfboard balsa, so I know what balsa is.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. Would you make a box out of balsa wood?
No.
All right.
No. I know people who had, but... that or bamboo. No. You know, because I used to always use maple for all my projects. Maple's the best because it's the hardest of them all, but it's hard to get good maple anymore.
And this one's like all dove jointed together. And I tried to get excited about it.
Aww.
I was able to simulate being very appreciative. I was like, oh, how much did you spend not letting that show?
Yeah.
But hey, man, I'm glad some people like doing stuff like that. Whatever, and more power to them. It's just no, stuff like that doesn't factor into. I'm way too cheap.
You can get maple if you kill a Canadian.
You don't have to kill them. That's being irresponsible. You just gotta squeeze them.
Yeah, and actually...
They'll just
Steve
let out
has-
a log.
Yeah.
That's the reason when you give
Well-
Jordan a big hug, it's all sticky.
Steve husband is right. It actually kind of balsa is kind of considered a hard wood, but it's got a soft surface, so that's why it's good for shaping for surfboards and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard inside, and it's one of the strongest. That's why surfers used it because their boards wouldn't get cut in half after they went down a wave. So this is a thing. So
yeah, that's for the lazy surfers. I want a hardwood longboard, like King Kamehameha was rolling. I don't want one of these pretentious kid boards.
Oh, you'd like the 20-foot
the kid boards
ones
are lighter. They're just basically styrofoam.
Yeah. Well,
all I'm looking for
board...
a surfboard is something slightly less dense than saline, man.
Yeah, they are made out of fiberglass. Yes. My dad used to shape them. He worked with Dewey Weber. Surfboards. Some of
the kid boards are basically styrofoam. The really big, long ones. That's how I learned to surf, and that was basically styrofoam.
Oh yeah, those are training.
When I moved on to the glass fiber one, yeah. yeah. The foam ones are just training boards. Yeah.
But no, I mean you could spend several $1,000s easily on a nice fiberglass board. I've got several of them. So.
It was a surfboard and a I think it was a K2 snowboard.
Oh,
entirely made out of carbon fiber. It was just like the hooks for the boots were gold plated and everything. It was like 900 euros. It's like,
yeah.
I don't know why, but I want it.
I'm good. I also got a principle about doing my best not to swim in anything I can't see the bottom of.
Oh, that's when it's the funnest, though. And when there's, you have to be concerned about stingrays and sharks, and that's.
I already have an issue with like whatever mechanism is that's called like self-preservation. That's broken in me. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm trying to cheat the system, and I'm not doing hard mode. Let's not intentionally do things that are going to get us nuked.
Yeah, in Portugal, the thing that you have to worry about the most are the spider fishes.
Oh yeah.
Because if they sting you, they will basically immobilize you, and then
they can kill you.
You either have enough air in your lungs to keep you afloat, or you'll drown.
Yeah. Yeah, growing up at the beach, I've had to rescue people that were stung by. There are certain species of stingray that are really bad, and that will, within a few minutes, you'll be completely immobilized. And as a young kid, my dad had taught me how to take care of it. And you have to put their limbs in the hottest water they can stand, so the poison draws out of the leg.
Pee on it.
Yeah. They're yeah. Yeah. I was always very careful and never got stung or anything. I knew how to get around that, and but a lot of people don't know what they're doing.
Mr. Alert, so... Yeah, it does. I think you've seen through their clever. Listen, I'm not above using that type of effect. All right, that's clearly.
Is that a tarp?
Oh,
that is totally a tarp.
That's no, it's not a trap. It's a tarp.
Yeah, it does look like.
It's a tarp. What are they called? The Calamarians or whatever. It was the laziest name Lucas came up with for Admiral Akbar's species. It's a thing. Alright, beautiful people, we are rolling up on night. Gotta go make this into a podcast and get it out so people can put it in their ear holes. It's been fun. It's been nice and rainy today. That's good. Yesterday.
Oh, it has.
Yeah, it was nice and rainy yesterday, but then like the sun screwed it up at the end of the day. When you're genuinely sitting at 100% humidity, it was like 22, 23 degrees.
Yeah.
It was great. Sun comes out, cranks it up to like 30.
Makes the humidity even worse.
Oh, it's miserable.
Sticky. Oh, poor Ben.
My house is old, but it does not. I don't sit near and get sticky. It's I do have some insulation. Let's see.
I'm just glad it's going to be slightly warmer tomorrow. It was.
Yeah, it's been
the
cold.
maximum temperature today was 13 Celsius. It's
Oh,
like,
boy.
Are we back to that temperature? Okay.
It's that
All
time
right.
of year. Yeah,
But the 20s are coming back, so I'll take it.
That's awesome.
As someone who grew up enduring 40s during the summer, I could use a little bit of heat every now and then.
That's 24. I'm cool with 24. Me and 24 get along, apparently. It's not too
Oh, that's
bad.
good. That's my favorite. It's, yeah.
All right, that's going to do it.
Yes.
Aw.
Welcome to
Pedro's
Britannia.
mother's having mood speed.
Listen, at least he's not like in Ireland. Trust me.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Ireland is
Cool.
really bad, according to what Ike's been posting lately. Yeah.
So that is a thing. Tune in tomorrow. The Canadians, they're doing something. I think it's going to be Wasteland, or Jordan didn't update the calendar. It's one or the other. So you'll find out when I do. And that'll be a thing. Or if you want to come hang out with us on Friday, we'll be back for some trivia. That's the thing. Did I get the happy music? Hang on. I'm going somewhere with this. All right. Don't instinctively fill time, Pedro. You've not been doing this with
Okay.
me for 6 years or anything.
Aw.
No, I have not.
Happy, happy, joy, joy. Happy, happy, joy, joy.
Let's see. January 2013 was my first Linux Gamecast episode. So 5 years and some odd months.
Yay. Pedro.
Here we go. Some happy music. First to go out on. LGC for Kids is back, baby.
I know
Oh, yeah,
that.
boo boo. I showed the fox in the pre show. Fox, fox.
Why do I know that?
Because you drink too
Cute.
much? I don't know.
There could be a bit of an argument to be made there, yes, but
You got my.
I swear
My
I've heard that
Firefox.
before.
I don't, this is Creative Commons music, allegedly. So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think the version I heard that had lyrics.
Oh, this is from Scott Holmes. It's just genuinely called So Happy. Like, no joke.
Yay!
So happy. But it makes me think of something that would just have like the and just go like straight into a linoleum knife.
Ew.
Well, no. What is it? You know, the intro to Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie. Film
Yeah,
for
Aqua
theaters.
Teen. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So. All right. Yeah, man. We'll definitely do another kids show at some point. Listen, we got to tap into that YouTube Kids market somehow.
Mommy, what's a Linux? What have you been watching?
we can dress as lizard people and wear bow ties. It will be terrifying. All right, Hell Hydra, Die to Fire. We love you. We're out. Bye-bye.
Bye, chat room.